Edmund McMillen on assembling Mewgenics Meow cameo list. The inclusion of people with clashing ideologies felt appropriate. I understand we live in a time where a meow from someone who has different beliefs as you is scary and frustrating, confusing, and controversial. So this is a pretty funny article. Edmund McMillen, I've always liked this guy. He made Super Meat Boy before this, and then before that he made Binding of Isaac, which Binding of Isaac is the only game I played from him. Great game. That must have been 15 years ago I played that game. It's a pretty old game, but Edmund McMillen's he's a pretty funny guy. So I kind of wanted to dive into this article and see what it's all about. This is at rockpapershotgun.com, written by Mark Warren. Edmund McMillen and Tyler Glales, sorry if I butchered that name, cat breeding roguelike Mewgenics came out earlier this week to an overwhelmingly positive reception and plenty of early success. However, one aspect of the game has left folks on the fence. This list of pretty complicated internet personalities. So these are all the names of, oh, I see, featuring meows. So that's funny. So these are internet personalities, a lot of them, and he just got them for a meow. And a lot of people are upset because, you know, they have some people like, let's see, iDubbbz. I know he's in here. Yeah, iDubbbz. They even have, what's iDubbbz' wife's name? I know she's in here too. Yeah, Anissa, the OnlyFans girl. And then you got, who else you got in here? Oh, you have Moist Critical? Oh, what about Only Plays? Are any of them in here? Joshua Tomar, Zach Hadel, he's in here. Chris O'Neill isn't in here. But yeah, you get it. There's a lot of YouTube people in here. Ethan Klein is in here. I don't remember his wife's name, but oh, Gila Klein, she's right here. So yeah, you got all sorts of different people from all sorts of different places on the internet. Oni Plays, you got iDubbbz, you got H3, and a lot of these people, you know, they're very contentious these days. They become very political, and a lot of people don't like them for various reasons. But I think this is funny because basically he's saying, hey, if you get offended by someone who has different beliefs than you, political beliefs than you, over a meow in a video game from people from all over the aisle, then maybe just take a step back and relax. Okay, it's a meow in a video game. But that's the list, so I want to actually look at the article. All right, let's see. Where were we? Came out earlier this week to an overwhelmingly positive reception and plenty of early success. Oh, here we were. This list of pretty complicated internet personalities who voice the copious amounts of meows emitted by in-game cats. So to get a better picture of how these cameos came to be, I reached out to developer McMillen. Here's a brief rundown of people included that some potential Mewgenics players on social media, principally in this thread, that's been hanging out near the top of Reset Era the past couple of days, have voiced unhappiness over. So people are unhappy over these voices. I mean, it's not too shocking. Again, there's a lot of dislike out there for H3 and iDubbbz especially, ever since they kind of became political and went, you know, sort of leftist. Which is kind of funny because now there's a schism between iDubbbz and H3 over politics, even though they probably agree on 99% of their politics, except for one particular issue. And you know what issue that is. The presence of YouTubers Ethan and Gila Klein of H3 Productions has drawn criticisms from those who don't agree with their views on the Israel-Palestine conflict. That conflict. That's the conflict I was alluding to. Mewgenics also features a voice performance from Matan Evan. That's the 15-year-old stage invader from 2022's Game Awards. Oh, is that like the little Jewish kid with the curly black hair? Who appeared on a far-right conspiracy podcast InfoWars when he was 12. Yeah, that far-right conspiracy podcast of Alex Jones, who somehow always ends up being right. Crazy, but people don't like to talk about that. There's also Christine Chandler, an autistic trans YouTuber. Gross. Who has been the subject of considerable online bullying. She was arrested on a charge of incest in 2021 and was dismissed in 2023. Wow, a trans person who is into incest. Wow, imagine my shock. According to McMillen, the list of cameos is a kind of cross-section of internet culture during the game's development, with an emphasis on featuring people from across the ideological spectrum. When we added most of the people on this list, it was ages ago. Like Ethan was included a good 4 years back, he told me over email. I wanted the game to feature a huge array of iconic voices I've been hearing echoing across the internet for most of my time making games, McMillen added. As some probably noticed, I was pretty all over the place when it came to cameos and did my best to include and keep ones that clashed or kind of counterbalanced each other. The inclusion of Ethan and Gila was counterbalanced by iDubbbz and Anissa. Was it? Like I said, I mean, they're very politically aligned. They just had a schism on one particular geopolitical conflict. Otherwise, they're both leftists that agree on 99% of issues. So that's kind of funny. For context, iDubbbz and Anissa are YouTubers and streamers who have publicly supported Palestinians during Israel's invasion of Gaza. iDubbbz and Ethan Klein are former friends who are now locked in a public feud after iDubbbz released a content cop video criticizing Klein for his stance on Israel, which, by the way, was probably one of the most cringy videos I've ever seen on YouTube and kind of just destroyed iDubbbz' entire reputation because he basically sold his soul, betrayed his friend over a geopolitical conflict that he probably didn't even really care about, but that his wife Anissa probably cared a lot about, and got in bed with Hassan and all these people on Twitch, like the undesirables. So I made sure to contact both to make sure they were okay with the other's involvement, so it didn't feel like a weird gotcha on release. This is so funny because they literally meow. They go like meow. And they take that and they put it in the game for like a specific cat. And that's like, oh, are you okay with that? Like, yeah, I know you have a feud with this guy, but it's okay. Is it okay if you both have the same meow or both have a meow in the same game? Is that okay? I don't know, that's so funny to me. They were both very adult about it and said they had no issue with the other being added, and I really respected that. Respect. Since I know they have been publicly feuding for a while, it's hard to explain without revealing aspects of the game people haven't really experienced yet. The inclusion of people with clashing ideologies felt appropriate. I understand we live in a time where a meow from someone who has different beliefs as you is scary and frustrating, confusing, and controversial. That's so funny. McMillen continued, but it felt interesting, so I decided to explore it. Also, I should probably point out that I don't share the same opinions as, well, probably any of the people we included. If I only included the people who share the same opinions as me, I'd be the only one meowing in the game. I included Chris, but also Liquid Chris, those who know. I don't know. I guess I'm uncultured. I didn't realize Matan was controversial. I mean, a lot of these people are characters doing bits. It's sad that some people might read this or other articles and be so put off by the idea of an inclusion of someone they don't like so much that they will never play the game, he concluded. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I wouldn't play a game created by iDubbbz, but I like McMillen, and he's got a good sense of humor, and his heart's in the right place. And at the end of the day, they're meowing. They're putting a meow, the meow.mp3 in the video game. Like, that's all it is. It's not that big of a deal. But I'm sure someone who would be that upset by a problematic meow would really enjoy the game that much anyway. Honestly, the thing that bothers me the most about all of this, if a cat appears with the voice of someone you hate, you can literally throw it in the trash or worse. People need to get more creative with their hate. That's funny. That reminds me of I remember people calling Red Dead Redemption 2, I think it was. Or no. Or yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 woke because there was like a crazy feminist bitch in the game that just like screams and shouts stuff and protests. And then there was a video of a guy tying her up, lassoing her behind her horse and like leaving her on a train track. It's like, yeah, get creative like that. Like, it's funny. So I agree with him completely, actually. I agree with him completely. McMillen also pointed out that once Mewgenics has full mod support, modders may well have a go at offering players the means to remove any meows they aren't fans of, and possibly add in their own custom meows. I don't know, that's so funny to me. Just, you have to mod out a meow because it's from someone you hate so much that it just makes you so upset. Oh, that's kind of crazy to me. In our review of Mewgenics, Callum wrote that McMillen and Galeo's brand has been stapling together obsessive gameplay loops with juvenile potty humor and more than a sprinkle of morbid humor. He noted in conclusion that whatever happens, I know I'll come back with a corker of a story, and it'll almost certainly involve poo. That spirit definitely seems to have carried over to the voice casting too. So yeah, I agree with him. I think this is, if you're getting mad over a meow from someone you don't like in a video game, then maybe you've gone a little too far. And that's coming from me. And I consider myself like a kind of an extremist politically for a lot of things. But yeah, this is just funny to me. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. Like if you liked it, dislike if you dislike it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And thanks for watching. Peace.